J-Off versus Megastars, formerly known as Lando Gaming. This is the final of the EWU and your winner will take home $1,000. It is a best of two. This video is war number 1 and we will bring you the second war tomorrow as a video here on YouTube. Be sure to leave a like to let me know that you enjoy the 5 versus 5 wars, but let's get into the first attack. The first attack of the Elite Warrior United final comes from Lando, the leader of Megastars. Recently into the pro scene, Lando Gaming taking over by Mega. Can they be crowned champions in this double header? 2 matches, best of 2. If you guys enjoy the 5 versus 5 wars, I always have the playlist with all of the other matches in the comments section in the description. What I will do on this one is put it as a pinned comment for you guys as well. But Lando starts with a Grand Warden walk and very nicely uses his king to take out the defending royal champion. That will also help to set a funnel over to 9 o'clock and the Yetis come in. Does have to freeze the single target Inferno. Got a couple of hits from the Grand Warden but didn't want to get too close there. As long as they get the scatter shot, that is the main thing. So in they come, couple of other balloons. Royal champion now directly onto the single target Inferno. Looking good here for Lando, although some of the Yetis were not inside the Grand Warden's aura. This looks very promising. His main threat will be the scatter shot to the right hand side. I love that battle blimp just to secure the 2 stars. You do not want to get a 1 star in these wars. Under rage, Town Hall goes down. How quickly can he get the scatter shot? Balloon is getting there, but the Yetis are just stuck in the tornado trap. The Archer Queen finally takes it down. The few balloons continue to swipe off defenses. This could be close coming down to it. Plenty of cleanup with minions and wizards around the base. The Queen takes the healers and just in the nick of time. What are these Yetis doing? They're going for the gold storage. If only they would take the jump spell and come to help the Queen. He might get this, but time will be the factor. The Queen has got so much to get through here, 45 seconds, and I'm not sure that he does have enough time. If only there was more cleanup, if only the Yetis had a better split. Queen has plenty of health, we're down to 30 seconds, and it looks ever so unlikely that Lando will get that ever so required 3-star. If you can start off with a 3-star, you are looking good. Now the 2 wars will be combined, so even if a team loses this first war, they could still win outright because it will be total stars across the 2 wars, alongside percentage. Obviously Lando putting up a good percentage to kick us off. Can the Queen get one more building? 92% it is, but it is a 2-star. Can J-Off get the 3? Lenade is the first attacker for J-Off, battling out of DU30 clashes. Lures the clan castle first with a giant and balloons, just to ensure that irrespective of what is in there, they will be pulled out. And one of Lando Gaming, now Mega, has a ton of witches in there. Not to worry though, because Lenade has the poison, very smart in these single attack format wars, and the Queen can now start from the northern section. Grand Warden will reinforce that as well, and this is a good start for Lenade. Whenever you can set up the funnel nicely, it is obviously preferred on these ring style bases. 4 expos at the top, laying fire into the Queen, but with a freeze spell, she gets through that area very successfully, and that is a major threat already mitigated by Lando. Uses the king and a couple of witches on the side to help with the funnel, and in come the Yetis. This is interesting as he has to get into the middle, saving onto the siege barracks, notice, in the bottom troop bar, because if everything walked, you could always swap to the battle blimp, as Lando does, to get right into the center. The air sweeper distracted, Grand Warden's ability goes off to allow the battle blimp in, but then the troops are exposed, needs the rage spell. What a beautiful freeze onto all of the scatter shots, and the Yeti can now take out the entire central area. Beautiful move by Lando there, and a powerful force of troops firing through the bottom area of the base with the Royal Champion and Wizards to help. There is a lot of troops left. I can't see any way that one's base can survive this one unless he gets a miracle. The Royal Champion's ability is used early due to the single target Inferno locking on. Little bit unfortunate, but you've got to get the ability off, as Lando does. We've still got the Queen's ability. Yeti Mites flying onto the single Inferno. Ground Expo, very current in this meta, but it does mean that the baby dragon is very nicely onto the Expo. Hog Rider comes in, plenty of troops, 30 seconds, and the Queen's ability swagged. Take a bow, Lando, putting Geoff in the lead in the EWU finals. Beautiful attack. We have Ghost looking to answer for Mega, one of the top base builders in the game, but also a fantastic attacker. And now the 3 stars is required. A very customized army consisting of the Queen charge into Hog Riders. Do note the jump spell as well alongside the Wall Wrecker. So Ghost expecting a big Queen charge here, but has the jump as the backup. Getting through, Wall Wrecker does take the scatter shot down. Delayed healer deployment means they are more likely to stick with the Queen instead of going to the Barbarian King. Exactly what Ghost requires. However, he could be in difficulty here because there are Ice Golems on defense alongside a single target Inferno. Now the fortunate thing for Ghost is that he took Ice Golems himself, kind of a play-by-play, but healers going down left and right due to the air defense. Only one of them remain now. The Royal Champion has to come in to save this, but definitely not what Ghost wants. As long as he can get the defending Queen, then he might be in luck. He's still got the ability. Can he get the Town Hall? Queen will go down here, so that is good. Hog Riders used from the other side of the base, and nothing to get the Town Hall. Rages the Queen, but she doesn't get it. Royal Champion stranded, and now Hog Riders are getting battered. This could be a devastating 1-star for Mega. There is nothing else that Ghost can do other than try and drive up the percentage. Remember, it is across 2 wars, so although we will only see 1 attack per player in this one, if they can catch up on the stars in the next war, then they might have a chance. But a nightmare start for Mega as they trail by a star and effectively an entire attack now. What was going on there with that one? Had to recognize that the Queen wasn't going to get the Town Hall and drive the Hog Riders in, but he went for glory and it just did not happen. Surprising move from a top player, but under pressure that can happen. A 1-star it is. We have asked of Geoff with the opportunity to put his side well in the lead, especially for this 5 versus 5 war, this video. But remember, the video coming out tomorrow will be war number 2, so do not miss it. Your daily Clash of Clans videos here on the channel. We do Let's Play, we do tutorials, and we do the 5 versus 5. So be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you haven't already. Ast begins this attack with a Queen charge charge into the town hall area. Very nicely sets up the funnel with the Barbarian King, but does get a little bit unfortunate to have the clan castle troops move across to the attacking king. He will now have to take that out with the queen, and this is added time. One thing that you have to be careful with when you are doing a hybrid style attack, as with this one, the hogs and the miners. I have indeed brought plenty of tutorials on this attack because it is one of the most common in the game. Accidentally drops a rage spell in the middle of the base. Oh my word, what was he even doing? Assumably trying to zoom in or out. Oh my word, that is just devastating. Not as bad as a 1-star, because the 2 is almost guaranteed here as the hogs and miners come in from the top side of the base. But Queen's ability goes off and she is now vulnerable due to not having a rage spell. Grand Warden's ability helping out here to get through the first scatter shot. Very nice freeze spell to get the second eagle and the single inferno. So it could still be good here due to the value that he was able to get from the initial queen charge. The scatter shot will go down with the single target inferno also going to go down to hogs and miners. Wait a second here. Are Geoff going to pull off a swagged rage spell attack for the 3 stars and effectively move themselves 3 stars ahead after so few attacks? The Royal Champion's ability intact. Hogs, miners, look at all of the wizards. 50 seconds. Wow, with a swagged rage spell in the middle of the base. Geoff meaning business and wanting the $1,000. Amazing stuff. Mega Esports trail by 3 stars after just 2 attacks each. Geoff could not have asked for a better start to this war. However, Mega Esports want the 3 stars with the hybrid themselves. You've just seen how effective this strategy is, and if Mega really needed a 3-star, now is the time. They've got to start spinning this around, because although there's 10 attacks across the 2 wars, you've really got to make sure you don't fall too far behind. Nice start to this one, has the rage spell keeping that queen alive. Nice use of the wall breakers to get into the scatter shot, and I really like the balloon going over the rage spell as well, testing for Sams, ensuring that the healers are still alive. Unfortunate not to get that, but it does help to take down the expo and protect the queen. I also like that the king is used to set the funnel and does indeed open up this wall. This could be a bad thing, the king going on the inside, because it might stop the queen from getting pushed into that area. He would have far rather had the king on the outside, but I guess the queen will still be drawn into that town hall after the bomb tower. King, though, absorbing fire of the expos will go down and means the queen will be vulnerable here. Has to use the freeze to protect the healers, but the air sweeper does him a favor and pushes them out of the way anyways, so that's very useful. Doesn't need to use the second freeze, he can save onto it, and in come the hogs and miners once that town hall is down. Healer gets popped by a Sam. Royal Champion in there to take down the enemy Archer Queen, and hogs and miners drive themselves forward. The Archer Queen can take down the second scatter shot, which is very good. Here come the Hog Riders from the siege barracks as well, which are able to get across the defenses on the left, keep the rest of them through the center. As long as the single target goes down, he might get this. He's got to press the Royal Champion's ability pretty soon. Uses the freeze instead. A nice move coming down to it. It might be the 3-star that Mega require, because 55 seconds in the bag. Royal Champion's ability, they can finally celebrate. They can start to breathe a little bit easier and put themselves on the comeback, because that was super impressive. Mega showing their class, why they're an esports clan and why they are in the final of the EWU. They're still in the prize pool here with 12,500 gems, but for sure they want the $1,000. Sir Iron, another one of the top base builders in the game. As with Ghost, a brilliant attacker as well. Let's hope that he doesn't have a nightmare and get a 1-star. Geoff have got the 100% hit rate at the moment. 2 3 stars off the bat. Can Sir Iron make it the third? Starts off with the Queen charge up to the north and the balloon to test for Sams, but also to lure the clan castle, and does that very well. A couple of giants help to do that, and again it is a whole mixture of troops. This is not ideal alongside the defending barbarian king, so the poison has to go down quick. Queen well protected, but does use the rage to get through this, and then we will be following this up with the Yetis. So the Queen takes down the king and the clan castle, 2 major defenses down relatively easily, just 30 seconds of his time, and now will continue to sprinkle in the balloons in order to test for the Sams. Able to take down one of the archer towers there as well, reduce the fire on the Queen because we have 2 expos, a cannon and an archer tower, not to mention the archer queen coming up as well. But Sir Iron ready, prepared, dialed in, uses the freeze spell to take down the archer queen and expo, and this looks a strong start, getting very good value, using another coconut loon. Often you will see black bombs next to the air defenses, but the balloon does go down, so a healer could be vulnerable here. Starts the rest of the attack. The ground expo though will not hit the healers, so that is a positive. Needs to quickly get this funnel created. Might pop the king's ability as he does, but is it too little too late? Have the Yetis already started walking? I think he might have just rescued that, and indeed he did. They will move back. No, they don't. They are going around, so he's got to hope that something gets to that town hall. He's got the battle blimp as a safety, which could easily swap to anything else, but the bowlers do get it, and that allows him to be a little bit more flexible now. Not sure the 3 stars is still on the cards though, because the Yetis have split everywhere in this base. At least Sir Iron knows that the 2-star is done. Does indeed get the Eagle Artillery, so that is good in terms of driving up percentage, but the only place he could pop the battle blimp is presumably into that area where the scatter shot is. Does use the blimp from the left hand side. That's an interesting approach. I thought he might have came from the... No, couldn't have because of the town hall, sorry. So does have to come from the left hand side. Uses it onto the scatter shot and the single. Interesting, once we knew that the 3 stars was off the cards, that would still happen, because he might have got better percent just using it down to the cannon. Not to worry, wants to show us his initial plan, and does indeed get the 2-star, which is all you want. Still got a freeze spell. Come on, Sir Iron, use that freeze spell. Help to drive the percentage up somewhat. Doesn't, and it will be the 74-75% 2-star, still very much leading. There is the freeze spell. Is it enough to get 76? Oh, it's not. The time is the issue, but the 2 stars secured, still in the lead. We have one who did win the World Championships with Nova, attacking a similar base. You might recall one extremely similar to this earlier on in the war. One decides to go with the Grand Warden walk from the left-hand side and a mass Yeti attack. 10 Yetis on this one. Look at all of the spectators as well. Super cool to see that many watching these attacks and really cheering the team on. Lots of streamers involved in the EWU. Massive GG to the organisers of this tournament. This is season 6 and they continue to put the brilliance on every single season. A very interesting rage spell there that is purely to speed the Grand Warden up. Obviously wants to try and reach the scatter shot, but aware that time is ticking here. 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Once the Grand Warden does get the scatter shot, then the rest of the attack can begin. Uses the siege barracks and the king up to the north of the base, so we will then see the Yetis driving in from the 10 o'clock. Here they come, straight to the town hall. A brilliant funnel created. They can't go anywhere else, but the clan castle troops are scattering everywhere, and this is where having multiple troops in there can be detrimental. Can be very good on defense, but detrimental to the attacker. So as everything takes the jump spell, the Yetis will get to the town hall quick, and we'll see the Grand Warden's ability used to protect them. The Queen though drives them away from the town hall, and 2 healers healers do indeed go down. Now the Grand Warden's ability goes. Might have been better to use that on the healers. Protects another one, but the Queen steps up, takes that Town Hall, exactly what one needed. But the Yetis getting drawn over to the Queen was a nightmare for one. Does indeed get to the second scatter shot. We might still be in luck here, but with a few Yetis stuck on the outside of the base, time could be a factor. We've got one multi-inferno, 50 seconds remain, and 35% of the base. Yetis getting blasted by the Eagle Artillery. No Yeti mites left in that basket either, which means they cannot get across to the Archer Towers. And unfortunately for one, what started with huge value from the Grand Warden just turned to dust as the Yetis were drawn around the Town Hall, and utterly time would have been a factor here as well. Still gets a good percentage, still gets that clear 2 stars, but remember, J-Off are 2 stars in the lead effectively due to the 1 star and due to their 2 3 stars. Thankfully, Mega did get that 3 star in the other attack. One keeping that percentage high exactly as needed. It is going to be an 88% 2 star, but J-Off still in the driving seat. And it is Boom, one of the most solid attackers in the game. Both of these teams absolutely stacked. You will know Boom from the World Championships last year, where he competed with Tribe Gaming. Starts with his Queen Charge, wall breakers down to the bottom section, and sneaks them in. Almost got the next layer of wall as well with that wall break, so he sends 2 more in. Can they do it? Oh, they did not. They did not. The scatter shot wiped the wall breaker, but he did get a balloon in there in order to take down a couple of air sweepers, and now the Queen will be able to get to the scatter shot thanks to the jump spell. Sends in the Grand Warden as well. Will the Queen take it? She does. Steps up, taking huge damage though. Ability will be popped. Poison spell onto the Clan Castle troops, but how much longer can the Queen survive? Grand Warden's ability goes off here as well. Not a good start for Boom. Wanted to charge that area, but ultimately just takes too much damage with the Grand Warden's ability down, with the Royal Champion not getting the single target Inferno. This is not what Boom wanted, but this is where you've got to try and secure the 2 stars, and the Battle Blimp is doing everything to get to that Town Hall. It's got a clear shot once the air sweeper goes down, and we do not have any more spells after this rage spell. The Town Hall and the 2 stars secured, but what can happen here leading to the 3? We've still got a few Yetis, we've still got the Queen moving around the base, but the single target Inferno at the back, and the Barbarian King and Queen look very dangerous. Boom spreading out his troops as best as possible. He's got 1 wizard, presumably to drive up percentage down to the 8 o'clock section. The Queen still doing what she can with the limited healers that are left, 81%. I love the plan, but unfortunately the Yetis just didn't get the value that he wanted, and losing out initially with the charge did not help either. If the Tesla does go down. What that allows is the wizard to drive all of the buildings at the bottom with the healers. The wizard walk. Is there a spring trap? Probably not. I wouldn't have thought that the defenders would have spring traps on the outside of the base. What this allows is Boom to keep the percentage high, irrespective of Mega getting that high percentage on the last attack with 1. It's basically cancelled out here from Boom, and J-Off will still be 2 stars in the lead. We've still got 1 more attack in this war, and then moving across to war number 2. I will link that video at the end of this one. It will be down in the pinned comments once it is available, and remember, the 5 versus 5 playlist will also be in the description for the first day before part 2 is released. It will be in the pinned comments, but 91% it is from Boom. Mega need to close the gap for moving into War 2. It is very unlikely that they will win this one unless J-Off have the most incredible fail that we have ever seen. It does happen, but Mega need to really just focus on closing the gap for War 2. But we have seen them come back from behind in this EWU tournament. Senior Fox starts off with the Yeti Raged Blimp, and what that takes out is the Scatter Shot and Single Target Inferno. Really like the Hog Riders following up there to take down the Archer Tower, and that just really drives the Queen down to the 6 o'clock area, exactly where he wants it. A Scatter Shot down, a Single down, 2 major defenses, and this now means that the Queen has got pathing, but the wall break didn't get through. Can't access that wall anymore due to the building going down. The wall break no longer under rage over there as well, so doesn't get access to the area he wanted. Oh, that is awful. Just did not happen for him. You've got to expect the wall breaker to peel off when the building is not there. Senior Fox has to adapt now. The Queen extremely vulnerable because the healers keep getting pushed back by the sweeper. Clan Castle troops do get lured a little bit, and he wastes his poison. Whatever else is in that Clan Castle will no longer get in there. You need to drive a Hog Rider in to pull the rest out. Here it comes. Get the rest of the Clan Castle troops, but can the Queen take them? Here they come. Poison is gone, remember, at this point. Has 2 ice golems and lots of archers to deal with. He will be able to do that with the use of the wizard. Actually doesn't get anything. This is not ideal for Senior Fox with only a minute left on the board. He's got to just continue this attack as best as possible, get the 2 stars and secure that victory in terms of the 2 stars. They do not need another fail. The king and a couple of miners nicely used to set up the funnel across that side, and he will just power everything to the town hall. The attack was a nightmare from the start with the wall breaker fails, but one thing you have to be able to do as a top player is recognize when it's not going right and be able to fix it. Senior Fox, a very high level player, and recognizes that it's not going to happen for him. Set that funnel with the king and a couple of miners, didn't undercommit. There's the Grand Warden's ability. There's not a lot gone to the town hall, but he does have hogs and miners there. Is it enough? Yes, it is. He will get the 2 stars, but it is a low percentage as well. So now it means that J-Off could get another 3-star and move 3 stars in the lead for that war, which will be released tomorrow for you guys. Incredible stuff. Mega have a mountain to climb, but will they have the best comeback we have ever seen in Clash of Clans? We will find out shortly in this EWU final, but it is 64% for Mega. Jojo 23, the final attacker of the war. You might recall seeing him battle in Poland for Dark Looters last year for the World Championship qualifiers. Now with J-Off, a very strong team, and starts with the Queen Walk, getting a bit experimental now, using the dragons in the air attack. And what this can enable you to do is take advantage of people trying heavily to defend the ground-based meta, which is the Yetis and the Hog Miner hybrid. We've seen both of them attacks in this war. Ground Expos in the center obviously wants to get the dragons into that area, but the single target Infernos could be an issue. Starts with a couple of bowlers as well, trying to just help with funneling, pick off buildings, keep the Queen onto defenses, and 1 giant is enough to lure all of them troops. Is this a new meta that we're seeing? A lot of archers, witches, in combination with sometimes the ice golems with the witch and archers. This one though, they do go down very easily to the poison. Look at that barbarian, drags the witch into the poison. A top move there in order to try and take that down, but unfortunately didn't quite get it. The Queen has to get the single. She turned to the witch, so he's got to freeze it. That was not ideal. That is 1 freeze freeze spell used that he did not want to use in that area. Now the Royal Champion continues to take out buildings on the right. The Eagle, the target, the ability, getting through defenses, and look at the straight path for the dragons into the center. Beautiful funneling by Jojo. We're going to have a mass of damage in that center with the Rage, the Freeze, and the Grand Warden's ability NE second. As the Town Hall is about to pop, there it is. How does he get the single target Infernos? With a Battle Blimp. Jojo coming in from every single direction here, has everything planned. Queen with the single, is he gonna get it? Yes, he does. The 3-star locked down for J-Off, and they will win this war by 3 stars moving into day 2. Incredible attack by Jojo, one of the best I think we've ever seen, leaving the best until last. Let us know if you've seen a better attack than that in recent times. However, your winners of War 1 is J-Off convincingly 13-10, 93.2% with 81.6 for Mega. If Day 2 is uploaded and ready, this will be tomorrow. I'll link it here, but if not, if you're watching this on the first day, stay tuned for tomorrow, guys. It's going to be awesome. Until then, peace out.